Welcome to the BS Report. This is a very special BS Report. I'm not hosting this one. My friend Adam Carolla is. He's here right now. Adam.
Yeah.
You talked to Mike Tyson for, an hour and a half?
I went to his house in Henderson, Nevada, and I sat in his living room, and I talked to him about everything. And it was incredibly revealing and interesting. We talked about prison. We talked about his dad. We talked about Cus D'Amato. We delved deep into the psychological being that is Mike Tyson.
So this must have been your favorite podcast you've ever done.
I am pretty darn proud of it, and Grantland has the exclusive rights to it, and here's the way we're going to do it. You can check it out on Grantland, and if you enjoy it, you can hear the uncensored version over at adamcarolla.com.
So we're running the slightly edited version here in the BS Report for a week, and then after that, it moves over to adamcarolla.com, where you have a podcast that's very successful.
Thank you, and
you won Best of iTunes.
Yeah, I was very. You got
2012.
But you know what? We got to look forward, and we're going to start the new year with what I think is some of my best work, a very revealing Mike Tyson interview, and I think you'll probably hear, the guy's an open book, but you'll hear things you haven't heard before about this great champion of ours.
All right, so I am disappearing, and here is Adam Carolla talking to Mike Tyson in Henderson, Nevada.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get it on. Mandate, get it on. Sitting here in the home of the great world champion, Mike Tyson, somewhere deep in Henderson, Nevada. Good to see you, Mike. Thank
you, Adam. Was it really that deep?
Not that deep. Only took us a few minutes to get here.
Yeah, well, some people, I think it's like 10 minutes away, but people that live in town say, man, where the hell you live at? You live in a boondock.
No.
It's only 10 minutes from the Strip. Everybody
it's nice. And a beautiful view at night, I'm guessing, of the Strip. Mike, first thing I commented on is how good you look and how well you're moving, because I think the last time I saw you in person was for your documentary about 2 or 3 years ago, and you were shuffling. By the way, that's the
oh no,
that's the maid turning the vacuum cleaner on. But you were shuffling around a little bit, and I remember saying,
yeah,
do you want to go in and watch the documentary? Because everyone loved the documentary, and it was a full house at the movie theater. And you said, nah, I don't want to see it. And I felt sort of depressed for you. I felt like, why aren't you enjoying this moment? And you're moving the way you're moving, and now you look like fit, and your spirits are good, and you seem totally different. So what happened between 3 years ago and now?
I don't know. Stop using drugs. Living a different life. I married a woman that I love. We have 2 children now. My older daughter comes to spend a great deal of time with me, and everything's just going well. I couldn't ask for anything more. If the doctor was to tell me I had 10 days to live,
you'd beat the shit out of him?
No, I was overpaid in life.
Really?
Yeah, big time.
Well, you are a guy.
Big time.
You do you've sort of led 5 lives maybe 10. I mean, if you really sort of think about it. I mean, it's weird, because I just talked to my mom the other day, and she's getting old, and she's getting slow, and she fell down, and she's using a walker, and so on and so forth. But I realized she's led sort of half a life. Never really went out there and staked her claim. Never did much. Stayed at home, very quiet, not much of a life. And now it's coasting to a stop, but it never really had any momentum. You've had a life that's been a crazy roller coaster ride. Are you glad you're off the roller coaster?
Big time. I don't know what that was all about, really. I was just so desperate to stake my claim, as you may say. I was so desperate, just I wanted the people to know who I was. That was a goal that me and Cus D'Amato had. These people need to know your name.
Right.
And I guess I got intoxicated with that stuff.
What do you think? I know this sounds like a stupid question, but obviously you're a physical specimen. You were a physical specimen as a young man. You had this amazing ability to get great leverage on your punches and knock people out. You met up with Cus D'Amato. He mentored you, so on and so forth. But you still had to have the fire in your belly. I mean, you can't win a fight with all the great tools you possessed you still had to have this incredible work ethic and this incredible fire in your belly. So if not for boxing, if you were just Mike Tyson, the skinny Jewish kid.
There is a Jewish Mike Tyson.
Oh, there is a Jewish Mike Tyson.
In Massachusetts, yeah.
All right, if you were that Mike Tyson. No, what I mean is, what do you think you would have gone into? What do you think you would have ended up? Because you still would have had the fire in the belly.
I don't know, but I don't think it would have been boxing. Hopefully it wouldn't have been anything negative, because I lived in a really bad poverty, gang-ridden, drug-ridden area. So I would like to hope nothing bad would have happened. I would like to think that one day I would have got it like I received it now and lived a peaceful life. I don't know. I couldn't say. I mean, it's happy I met Cus D'Amato and Bob Stewart.
Did you meet Cus D'Amato or did he meet you?
Well, a gentleman that he used to train as a boxer was working as a correctional officer in one of the reform schools I was in, and he started mentoring me. And he said, "Hey, I don't want you to go back to this." He's telling me, right. I don't want you to go back to New York. Tough Irish guy, boxer. I don't want you to go back to New York, or you're gonna get locked up or get killed. So I want you to go up here and see if you like this guy, and if you do, we can stay up here and we can box up here. And it's just like that.
Right.
It's just like that.
Before that, had you given boxing any thought?
Never dreamt of being a boxer. Never thought about only street fighting, sucker punching people, hitting people with knives. It's really disgusting stuff in the street. But never in my life did I think that I would have to prepare and then get ready to fight a guy that's really capable of hurting another person. I never dreamed of that. I was afraid of that. I always had to have the advantage in the streets or something. My friend's weapon. And I never, the scariest thing in my life.
So but later on you became sort of a historian and a boxing aficionado and watched all the film of all the greats, that Jack Johnson and Dempsey's and all the guys that came before you. But at this early stage, you didn't study it. You weren't interested in it. It wasn't like you grew up watching Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, and George Foreman and went, I'm going to do that one day.
Never in my life.
And it is crazy that here you are, sort of this physical specimen, and you're getting into street fights, but you're never really connecting the dots on maybe I can make a living doing this. So you get hooked up with Cus. He takes you, is it upstate?
Upstate New York, in Catskill, the town of Catskill, New York.
And where, at this point, Dad's out of the picture.
No, my dad is gone. I don't know where he's at.
Right.
Mom's is alcoholic, getting sick around this time.
And so Mom is sort of like, take him?
No. Adam, it was a big stink. This white man, you gonna sign yourself to this white man, you gonna leave your family and go up there with those white men. No one in my neighborhood, nobody in my family understood this.
Right.
When I had to come from Cus and go visit my parents, my mother and my brothers and sisters, I'm 14. I won the national title. Mm-hmm. I came back and they living in a very poor, condemned, abandoned building. Really, this it's a horrible building. And she's bringing me a plate of food. I don't know, some rice and beans or some pork, just some crazy pig feet or something, whatever it is, right? And I'm telling her, I'm the greatest fighter in the world, Mom. I'm gonna be and we're poor. She has money, and she's hearing me say, "Mom, there's no man in the world can beat me. I'm only 14."
Right.
So this is what Cus and them are telling me.
Right.
I don't know anything about this. Is what they tell me. They brainwash me, and this is what I tell people when they ask me what I do.
Right.
I'm 14, but I'm telling them I'm going to be the greatest fighter in the world. I'm boxing now, and I'm training to become heavyweight champ. I'm going to win the Olympics. Not that I'm going to do this stuff. And they're looking at me. I don't have no money. And who's this guy? People are laughing at me.
Right. And is there a component where they're like, who is this white dude that's filling your head with these ideas up in the hill? You need to be back in the hood?
In my neighborhood, in the hood, everybody was very aware who he was.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
And they appreciated
inner city
it?
Guys, yeah, they loved him. Mm-hmm. They said, Mike, go back up there with those white people. That guy Gus, he loves you, man. Go back up there with him. My father and us, we watched him when he had the other fight. He had Buster Math. They knew his history.
Was there ever any thought, just because at the time you're 14, you're probably 5'9", 5'10", something like 5'8". 5'8", and you're 14. Obviously, you have this man's build, but you're still 14. You're short for a heavyweight, obviously. Is there any thought at this time of light heavyweight, cruiserweight, keeping your weight down?
No, my mentor, Cus D'Amato, said the bigger they are, the better. You're going to come across like a giant killer. You'll be a hero. You're beating guys so much bigger than you.
Right.
So that's why he wanted me to stay in heavyweight.
Right. And also, I don't know if your frame would have allowed you to get down.
I couldn't get. The fact was, people thought I was small. My bones were heavy.
Right.
I could never make 180 pounds. Most I could make was 93 pounds.
Yeah, so the fight with Virgil Hill wasn't going to happen.
No, I love Virgil.
I just said that to impress you.
I love Virgil.
So here you are fighting at heavyweight. So now you win, the Golden Gloves Championship?
I won the National Golden Gloves as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put me everywhere. Club fights. I was 14. I would fight guys 23, 30 because they were unsanctioned. There was no ambulance waiting outside. If you got a concussion, you had to go to the hospital on your own.
Right.
Yeah, I don't go to the hospital at all. But that concussion every time they have, every week, every month, he just throw me in fights, get me very familiar with fighting, the crowd, the mentality of fighters and stuff, and he just really knew what he was doing.
Some of the most impressive footage I've ever really seen in boxing is you as a young man, and I don't know if you were 17, 18 at this point, but hitting the heavy bag and moving, hands high, elbows tucked in, great head movement, the kind of movement that only guys that are built like you can do, and lightweight guys and middleweight guys. The Klitschko brothers can never really look like that. Lennox Lewis can never look like that. But you never see heavyweights looking like middleweights in front of the mirror or in front of the heavy bag. And it's footage I see all the time of you. It pops up. It's just very tight, lots of head movement, real short, compact, tons of leverage on the punches, working the body and then going upstairs. But everything is tight, compact. The form is unbelievable. What people don't realize is a lot of these guys, no matter how big and how strong they are, the form isn't there. Your form was always so tight.
What I found out about fighting, if you allow me to say, Adam, that fighting has, this is crazy too. Fighting has all to do with your spirit, you know what I mean, and repetition and the determination, how bad really you want it and stuff. And that's all me and Cus did. We worked on form for hours, just working on the form.
Literally just in front of a mirror or in front of a heavy bag?
No, in front of Cus.
In front of Cus.
Yeah.
Because you didn't need to see you. Cus needed to see you.
Exactly.
But your form was so compact and so tight, and the leverage, to me, the thing that always impressed me as a fan of boxing is you threw punches as a heavyweight that middleweights would throw. When I would see you throw the short body shot and then step back and throw the uppercut with so much, it was piston-like in its movement, but there was so much leverage on it. You're actually were working your size to your advantage at that point.
When I was a young kid, I watched the old fighters, all the lightweight guys, Duran, Tony Cantaneri, Jimmy McLaren and Barney Ross, the real stylists, Kid Chocolate, Sugar Ray Robinson, Wilfred Benitez, and those guys. Those guys were stylists, and they always put themselves in position for the knockout punch.
Right.
They always was in the position to make sure the punch was going to hit flesh on the guy, pinpoint. Joe Louis was a master at that as well. And I always watched these guys all my life. I never really went to school dances, and if I did go to a school dance, Cus would make me run back home. Don't take a cab, you run back home with your clothes on that you went to.
Did he treat other people, because he had other fighters and other kids in the house you were living in, right?
Yes.
Did he treat them like he treated you, or did he see something in you that he knew was different?
He was an old man. He knew he was sick. He had a mission with me. I didn't understand it at first, but I knew spiritually what we were doing, but it was never explained to me. Like, I'm only messing with you to hell with the other guys, and it's me and you. But I knew from the action that's what it was about. He wanted to redeem himself.
And did he also know that there was another side of you that could have been and would have been self-destructive when he was gone?
Cus knew more about me than I knew about myself.
And would he try to sort of impart those pearls of wisdom, meaning when you become heavyweight champion one day, and I may not be here to see some of these deals and sort of mentor you, I don't want you going down this road.
Well, he may have said those things too. But our main goal was just something. This is really so mundane. Our main goal, the only thing we talked about was hurting people.
Really?
And winning championships. And how are we going to hurt him? We're going to break their ribs this fight. We'll break his eyes. He's just an awesome guy. He's just an awesome guy.
We really say hurting people?
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, because you punched with crazy intention, and then I think at a certain point it just became a huge advantage with you for you because people were always in a defensive posture with you, trying not to be hurt by those punches with the incredible leverage. And I always used to kind of say with you as a fighter, I'd say, look, it's like a terrorist tries to abduct you and he holds a gun at you and he says, get in the back of the van. And if you get in the back of the van, it's over.
We know it's over.
You got one shot, and that's to try to grab the gun, except for you're probably going to get shot, but it's still your only shot. And I always used to say, if you're going to fight Tyson, at least just go out there and trade. You're probably going to get killed, but don't go on the defense, because if you go on the defense, it's just a matter of time before you walk him down into that corner. And so many of your fights, I felt, were won before the fight even took place because the guy was so scared of your punches.
Yeah, that's part of the art too. Intimidation. That's in every sport. That's in painting competition. That's in everything. That's in race car. Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt. He was the intimidator. Everybody uses that to their advantage if they have the skill to do it.
But what happened? And maybe who was the first guy that you got in with where you went, like I saw your fight with Bone Crusher Smith. He was on the defense. He seemed like a defense. Michael Spinks seemed like he was on defense. A lot of these guys seemed like they were just staying away from your right uppercut the entire night and looking out for it. Who was the first guy who said, I'll trade with you? And then when you realized that, how'd that make you feel?
What was his name? Jose Revolta.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped him in the 10th round, and maybe they shouldn't have stopped it that quick.
Mm-hmm.
But we were fighting like dogs.
Uh-huh.
And I remember that for that fight, I thought I was going to beat him easily. Right. I had invited a girl from Philadelphia to come visit me, and after the fight, she's going to be my little tasty snack, right?
Sure.
But the fight was so it was just so overwhelming, so gut-wrenching at that time in my career that I was useless. I couldn't do anything. I said, do you don't mind? You can just please leave because I'm not feeling well. My stomach, man, I'm sure fighters that hear me say, you can't do nothing. Your legs hurt, your stomach hurt. Every time you breathe, you want to cry.
Right. So that was the first guy who really said, you know what? I'm not intimidated by you.
He pushed me. Yeah, he pushed
trade.
Me. Fighting. He pushed me fighting, not being defensive, punching back.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And was there part of you that woke up and said, oh, or was there part of you that liked it?
Yes. Well, no one likes any of that. I don't care how much they say, this is great. No, that's not great at all.
Right.
It's not great taking punches.
But, as I said to you last time we spoke, you fought with Donovan Razor Ruddock. He punched like a fucking mule kick, as you said, after the so eloquently.
I was very colorful back then.
I liked it. And then you signed right up for a rematch with the guy. So there's a guy who wasn't scared to trade.
Well, this is what I knew. I knew from that first fight, the rematch was real close. I guess it was March, and what was the second one? June.
It was quickly or soon thereafter.
I knew he wouldn't be the same guy because he was at least 15 pounds heavier than the first fight, and I was lighter than the second fight. And I just knew he wouldn't be the same guy. And as you know, after that fight, he had broken ribs, cheekbones, eye sockets. He endured it, but he was never the same after that fight.
Right. So let's go back to the Catskills for a second. So now you're living in a house with how many guys?
I don't know. There's at sometimes you could have the whole. One day I was there. We had the whole Swedish Olympic team there training. And what South African boxing team? You don't know who's going to be there.
What's the schedule? basically.
Getting up in the morning before daybreak, do your road work, come back, clean your room and stuff. Well, that's what I had to do. Then eat your breakfast, work out some more, go to bed, wait for 12
going to school somewhere in there?
Yeah, I'm going to school too, but the other guys are grown.
I see. Right. So
I go to school, and after I go to school in the morning, I get in trouble in school or whatever, and then I come back home. Or maybe sometimes I skip the bus for coming home because I don't want to have to do the dishes and stuff. So I stay at school, and then I go to the gym from school.
Is all the training you're doing and essentially forming yourself into this weapon, is it calming you down when it comes to the street fights, or is it making you more confident when it comes to the street fights?
Very confident in everything, because that's what Cus did all day and all night, would build my confidence up. Mm-hmm. That's all it was. It was not no process just teaching me how to fight and punch the bag and be tough. No, it was a science project. Mm-hmm. You know, because I wanted to quit all the time. You know, sometimes I guess I don't want to do this, Cus. No, I'm scared. Right. You know, and they had to work me. You know, it's not. I'm the finished product. The guy, 1986, winning the title, beating Burberry. That's the finished product. But you had to see that as beginning stages. I'm intimidated. I'm quitting in the ring a lot. I don't want to box with the guys. I'm saying I don't want to fight box anymore after 2 or 3 rounds of one round go. And I'm going through all this infantile moments in my career that every fighter goes through. And people don't see that. And Cus is working me through this stuff.
How long after you won the world championship, youngest man to ever do that, does Cus pass away?
Almost a year.
So he got to enjoy a title defense.
No, he didn't see the fight. He was a year before I won the title. He died.
Oh, sorry, he died. He didn't get to your.
No, he was miserable and bitter old man. He was so mad.
He was so mad that he knew he was dying and wasn't going to see.
He was mad in the hospital room dying. He was mad and bitter and pissed off.
Pissed off at who?
His life.
That he had not seen you become champion?
He didn't see me because he knew that was going to happen. He was telling the doctor that this is the next heavyweight champ of the world. Doctor didn't know what the heck was going on, but he
no, because at that point you're 20-0 and
no, I'm 12-0. So
you're 12-0.
I'm like 12-0 probably. I probably got 10 fights and 9 fights.
But he knows.
Oh yeah, he knows because every time he's in the hospital, every time I fight, they ship him. He has VCR in his room, so he's looking at the fights every time I fight.
Right.
You know, and
how old was he when he died?
77.
Do you think he felt like his life didn't amount to as much as he wanted it to be?
100%, yes.
Why did he feel that way?
He wanted more out of life, and he couldn't get more out of life because he wouldn't bend.
But he did so much for so many people, didn't he?
Yeah, but Cus wouldn't bend. Cus is the kind of guy, if it's not his way, it's not going to work.
So
it's not going to work. I don't care who you are, a promoter. If he doesn't do it his way, it's not going to work.
Meaning he thought he could have been a great trainer, promoter, or a great...
He did it all.
Right, but...
You're talking about control freak? He did it all. His hands was on everything. He had control of the promoter. If you're not in my pocket, you're not with me, you're not working with me. That's just how it worked.
What would have happened if he was around with you and Don King? I'd
probably be an independent guy, and Cus would probably be my promoter, my manager, and everything. That's just how he worked.
Right. So it's weird that he had all this. I mean, he was so impactful in so many people's lives, right? Like, I mean, it wasn't 100%. Just you. No, there was a lot of other kids he 100%. Helped, right?
Even guys that's not fighters, it's being human beings in life and humanity. Right. He helped so many people. When I was young, like 14, 15, and we go to fights in Madison Square Garden. And it's so ironic, he's been around already for 50, 60 years. But when we go to the garden, he goes right to the back door, they let him in. And it's just like, and it's been that way all the time. I always, even after he died, I go to that back door that he went there, and we always get in free. Even the guy that's dead's not there no more. That's just always been the way. And I'm thinking, God, he was a important guy. When I'm walking down the streets with him to walk to the garage to get in the car, and you see these big guys, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. They're crying. They're so happy to see him. They used to be a fight. They're older now. They're 50. Right. But they're crying. They say, Cus, you remember me? I got money now. I'm doing well. Burt Young, he used to be one of Cus's fighters.
Sure.
And Cus, he's explaining to Cus on the train, like, Cus, I'm doing good, Cus. Cus, I'm doing real good. I'm making money for my. And Cus said, nah, that's nothing. You could have been a good fighter. He said, no, but Cus, I'm making money. No, he's Cus, I forget about it. You're a good fighter. You should have been a fighter.
So he was just a tough son of a bitch who had no bend in him at all.
None at all.
And was it literally like in the basement of his house, or where was the facility?
The gym was 4 miles away from the house.
Oh, it wasn't in the house.
In the city of Catskill, and he had a bag that we punched in the gym just in case the weather was bad and we couldn't make it to the gym. We go in the basement and work out.
So you then, and I'll jump around a little bit here. So you seem mentally good. You seem physically good. You say it's because no more drugs, happy marriage, all that stuff. What drugs are you not doing that you were doing?
Alcohol, cocaine, morphine. I don't know. My doctor told me I have the heartbeat of a college athlete.
Really?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I thought because you were moving around so slowly last time I saw you that I thought your body had worn out. What do you weigh right now?
230.
So you're 14 pounds above your fighting weight or 12 pounds above your fighting weight. You used to fight at 218, right?
Yeah, awesome.
Is that where they'd want you to? Is that once you come in about 218?
No, when I used to fight, I was a narcissist. So I used to watch all my heroes and look at their bodies. So I always came at 217, 218 because I knew I was just, when I breathe, you could see all my body, my muscles move and stuff. And because that's my heroes. That's how I wanted to represent fight. I wanted to look like these guys when they walked in the ring because they worked so hard. You see every muscle in their body. And I just wanted to emulate those guys. That's just really what it was.
And so what's the schedule now? Last time I talked to you, you were telling me you get up at 1 a.m. and you work out.
And then I go back to the gym at around 8 o'clock.
Seems insane to me. But what schedule, like work-wise, what are you doing now?
About far as my shows, making a living and stuff.
Yeah, making a living.
Hey, Adam, I'm going on this one-man tour that I was doing, Undisputed Truth, and we're doing like a 30-city tour. It's going to be like a 3-month tour. And I'm just looking forward to doing that. And me and my wife, we're starting to write some, we have a production company called Tyrannic, and we're going to start writing some shows and do some things. And we have production company. And we just...
Are you okay financially?
No, I'm never okay financially. I'm always f***ing broke.
I know, but what? But
sorry, baby. Okay.
Here's the whole thing. I'm looking at your house, and it's a very nice house. It doesn't seem like Mike Tyson's house. It just seems like a nice house. If anybody I went to high school with was living in this house, I'd say, Jesus, you did really good for yourself. Have you been able to scale it back financially and just appreciate sort of, you got a nice place, you have a nice family, you got a roof over your head. How many cars do you need?
No, I don't. I don't need any of that stuff. But no, I do realize that, man, we're just passing through, and I made more of all that stuff I had than really it was worth.
Well, if you think about it, once you're not doing drugs, how much money do you really need?
I don't know. I don't really know because I really never thought about it.
How much money do you think you've earned in your life as a fighter?
I have no idea.
You don't?
No.
Never sat down with a Post-it and tried to figure that one out.
No.
What's the most you ever got paid for one fight? Was it Lennox Lewis?
Yes.
That was your biggest payday?
I believe so.
What was that payday?
No, hold on. I think Holyfield was.
Oh, Holyfield, yeah.
I don't know. I have to see. I forget.
Oh, it had to be 25-30 million bucks, right?
I forget.
It was funny. I had to go back and look at some stuff on Wikipedia, but I was watching a fight of yours from 2004, and I remember watching it. The guy's name was Danny Williams, and I remember seeing that fight, and I thought, this is the old Tyson. He's back.
Oh, I broke my leg, though.
You broke your leg. Yeah, you tore ligaments or whatever.
That was cool.
But I remember,
but it was like,
that was a moment where
cool.
it was Mike had been in and out of jail, doing drugs, getting into trouble, not training, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden in 2004, you had this fight with Danny Williams. And for the first 2 rounds, I was watching it, and I said, oh, this is the old Mike. He's back. So at that moment in your career, you did focus on that fight. Like, I could tell you had trained hard for it.
I don't remember. I thought I should have won it easy, but then I hurt my leg.
Right. And then at that point, that was sort of the beginning of the end, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Would you have liked to have fought longer, or would you like to have fought shorter?
Hindsight, looking at it now, Adam, I shouldn't have retired.
You shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have retired, but I'm so happy I did, because I was able to. I would have to start all over and working on living a normal life. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I had the head start on being when I received that, I don't know, the paradigm shift, and I decided I have to live a different lifestyle. So from that perspective, I'm happy that I retired.
Was there a part of you when you went to prison? Was there a part of you that was happy that you were off the treadmill? Like
yes,
like I was.
Yes.
Oh, good,
man.
Good.
Listen,
I had this theory.
When they had to leave my 3.5 years, whatever, when my time was up, I couldn't sleep, because at night I would hear all the helicopters, the news helicopters all night around the prison. Mm-hmm. And all the guards would come and knock on my door, say, they're waiting for you out there. They're ready. They're waiting for you out there.
You were in for 3 or 3.5 years?
I was in for 3 years, but they gave me another year for infractions and stuff, and I had to go work it off, do extra jobs and stuff, so I get the extra time off, thank God. And it was so frightening coming home to all that stuff.
Well, so let me just tell you what my thought is, and then you tell me right or wrong. I sort of feel that people do what they want to do, whether they know it or not. Like, there's a part of you that says, well, nobody wants to go to prison. On the other hand, I remember at the time seeing pictures of you sort of smiling and laughing and screwing around. And also remember thinking at the time that if in court you'd handled yourself differently, you may not have gotten as stiff a sentence.
Oh, I was a prick in court.
You were a prick in court.
Yeah,
okay.
I was a prick in court.
So my point is if you were a guy who really didn't want to go to prison, like if you were Mike Tyson right now, and you really didn't want to go to prison, you would have been, yes, sir, no, sir, I'm so sorry.
Boss, I'm sorry, boss.
Right.
Oh, God, to be more careful. Man, yes, before God get the news.
Right, so, and then you would have gone home and went, fuck those assholes. But the point is in court, you would have been a different dude. So there was a part of me that thought, I think he wants off this crazy treadmill. I think there's a part of him that he may not even be in touch with that wants to get out of this, that can't take it anymore.
Listen, right, I used to see these guys when I was in the movie. I used to see like the Black Panther guys and these stuff. And some of the communist guys, they were very defiant to power. Right. And that was so exciting. I thought that was exciting. And so when I was in the courtroom, that's how I felt. I felt defiant to him. I said, oh, screw you, you know. I would say, well, so whatever. And he would say, well, how much money you have? So I had around $50,000 in my pocket. Right. And I was being very arrogant, showing off and brag. And that was my way of fighting back. I just wanted to strike back at them.
But you had to know that each time you told him to fuck off, you probably got another year in prison.
Yes, that's true too. But back then, when you're young and strong and vibrant, got a lot of spirit, you don't care about no time. Only time affects you when you're older.
Well, I know, but I mean, here's what I'm saying. Like, did your lawyers, did they ever say, Mike, please just fucking be nice for the couple hours we're here and then do whatever you want? In the courtroom, be respectful to that guy and we'll get a much lighter sentence.
I don't know. That's how I was built back then.
Because I
would never do that now.
My memory of it is all you really needed to do was like apologize, humble yourself,
be nice, really,
and be nice, and you probably could have got probation or something like that. But you just couldn't do it.
I was just mad the fact that I was in that courtroom for something so fucking hideous that I wasn't really involved in. to that degree where I've raped somebody and I didn't care. And when I was immature at the time, and that's the only way I knew how to deal with it. That's the only coping skills that I possessed at that time.
Right. And did you have that was at age what age?
24.
You were 24 years of age, and that 3 years would have represented, $100, $200 million.
Maybe I would have caught AIDS, and maybe somebody would have killed me.
Maybe you would have caught AIDS and somebody killed you. That's a good point.
I was living crazy like that, so that's why I always say, hey, this is a blessing.
Well, so
I came out, and I made more money than I ever would have made if I would have stayed out in the prison.
No, like I said, there's a part of me that realized that when I was watching it, that you were tired of having to be Mike Tyson at that point, and did not want to deal with the cameras, the press, the women, the Don Kings, all the posse, everyone coming at you all the time. There's a part of you that just it's almost like killing yourself temporarily.
Pretty much, yes. I'm
going to kill myself for 3 years, and then I'll get to come back, and I'll still be 27.
Exactly. Well, I was 28 when I got out, but I didn't think about it. I just knew I had to get off that roller coaster.
Right.
I didn't know what was going to happen when I got out, because at first they were planning to give me 63 years or something, but it didn't happen. So,
and when you got out, you were a little bit nervous to get back into that world?
Well, I knew there was nothing good coming out of that. I just knew at the end of the day, I just really felt in my heart nothing good was going to happen.
Is there anybody you think that could have got you away from that back then?
No, no one. Everybody was intoxicated by me and by the environment, so to speak. Because when you really think about it, I don't look at myself. I may have this this megalomania persona, but I really my self-esteem is not that high. So when I'm in a situation when like that, I have to be such a tough guy, a big guy, and I have to control that situation. Else I feel like I'm a wimpy dude or something.
Yeah,
I'm really out of my league and didn't know what was going on.
Listen, many of the greats are here because of overcompensation for feeling a certain way. I mean, every comedian I know feels like a nobody, so they get up on stage in front of 3,000 people and stalk back and forth with a microphone in their hand. That's where people...
Wow, you probably hit it right on the nerve. That nose there, I just never could express it like that.
Yeah. What do you think Madonna is? You know what I mean? And Madonna probably felt like her whole life growing up. Mom dies, blah blah blah, and now all of a sudden you have Madonna, not because she feels great about herself, not because she had a great childhood. This is the same thing that created Mike Tyson created Madonna.
I don't know. Shame created Mike Tyson.
Well, shame probably created Madonna, too.
Yeah.
I mean, the point is normal, adjusted people don't want to get in the ring and try to kill people or get killed. And normal, adjusted people don't want to go out on stage with a microphone in their hand and talk to 10,000 people. Both of them are equally scary to normally adjusted people. So if you'd had a loving father and a sober, loving mother and grew up in Henderson, Nevada versus Brownsville, Brooklyn, then you probably wouldn't have been that person. You wouldn't have had all that anxiety and all that rage and that feeling of inferiority, which came out in the form of hostility. So you would overcompensate with your hostility, but inside was just a scared little boy, right?
No doubt about it, yes.
And now you're at peace with it.
Pretty much. It's funny, if you allow me to intervene.
Sure.
When you say that scary little boy, imagine being that scary little boy. Now you hear people in the world afraid of you, and you even push further. I'm the baddest man on the planet. Don't with me.
Right.
And then they respond to that in the way you want them to respond to that.
Sure.
And that's like a high in itself.
That's what happened to Madonna.
Imagine being a scary guy, people picking on you, taking your clothes, taking your money, your watches, whatever you have, and all of a sudden everybody in the world is like, don't go near him. Don't look at him. Please don't look at him.
Right. And so what you want to do is that becomes intoxicating.
Big time.
And you get sort of drunk with that power, and now you want to perpetuate it. And that's what happens. Now, it's funny if you think about it, I've interviewed like the Klitschko brothers. They don't give a shit about that part of life because they're giants who have doctorates and play chess. You know what I mean? They didn't have that feeling of insecurity. They didn't grow up having people stealing their clothes. They were probably, by the time they were 12, 13 years old, they were 6'4" and physical specimens. So when you talk to the Klitschko brothers, they don't have that same sense of, they treat it like a sport. For you, it was a lifestyle.
100%, yes.
And so you had that little scared kid who was just lashing out against the world. Unfortunately, he came into the courtroom with you.
Oh, no doubt about that.
With you too.
No doubt about that.
But it's interesting what creates the fighters, what creates the comedians, what creates the Madonnas of the world is that insecure little boy or girl.
It comes back to, I'm going to show you.
Right.
That's what it all comes back. I'm going to show you.
Right.
Wait and see one day.
So you had that feeling early on with I'm going to show you.
Oh, 100%. Especially when Cus passed away. You wait and see.
Did you have it like with your father when he left? Did he?
Nah.
What happened?
Well, I had to with everybody. Everybody that was in my.
But like when a father.
Well, when he left me, I was so young, and I saw him periodically, and so that became the norm to just see him on certain days.
But did you have a feeling of one day you're going to wish you didn't leave this family?
No, I had Cus. I ain't want no one else.
And was your dad cool with Cus?
Well, I don't know what he was. Cus had already died. I wasn't talking to him. Then I really started talking to my father after I became champion.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't champ again, but right before I was going to prison, I started talking to him, and he met me in front of my building.
Mm-hmm.
But he was frightened, too.
He was?
He was very frightened.
Did you like that?
No, I didn't want him to be. I was always afraid of him as a kid. He still had that effect over me.
I know, but maybe that was cool now, the fact that now your dad is kind of physically scared of you.
I would never want to hit him or anything. He couldn't do anything to make me put my hands on him or anything.
Right, but you were physically scared of your dad growing up.
Oh, absolutely. Even though he never came around, I saw how people treated him. He had his Cadillac, and all the girls liked him. And I wanted to be something like that, but I just wasn't. I'm not like my father.
What was his deal? What did he do?
Only thing he loved is Jesus and pimping women. Hey, I'm just being honest.
So he was the Bishop Don Magic Wand of Brooklyn?
No, he wasn't. No, my father would kill you.
He would.
And my father's not like that. He's not a fancy kind of guy. Hey, babe. No, my father's really a violent man. Like, they're very serious.
But you say he loved Jesus.
I don't know. That's how it is. That's what he did. I can't explain it. He stayed in church all day. I don't know how he had time to pimp women and gamble and all that stuff. That's just what he did.
But I mean, this is like that great Temptation song. Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Wherever he laid his hat when his home.
Super Jesus freak.
But he was a Jesus freak.
Big time.
But he would kill you.
Yeah, don't piss him off like that. But yes, don't mess with his Jesus either. It's just that's just what it was.
Was it just that he wanted to instill that in you, or would he kill you?
Yes, he still didn't. He still didn't. My whole family. We're Catholics. We had to become Christians because of him.
So he was pimping.
He was doing everything.
Selling drugs?
I'm not sure about that, but I know he had his gambling halls. People tell him the gambling halls, had pool halls. He liked hunting rabbits, a country guy. And he had his women and his cars and stuff, and those pretty hats and stuff.
And so, I mean, he was driving a Cadillac, wearing a fedora, pimping, but also preaching.
Hey, I don't understand how that goes. I don't want to say anything because, he has family, my stepbrother, they love Jesus too. So that's just what it is, okay? That's just what it is. That was my father. I don't care if he was around. I love my father.
But he was in and out of your life.
Yeah, but I still love my father.
And he had another family and all that.
They were my brothers and sisters, though. It wasn't like we were estranged.
Right. And is he still alive?
Oh, my father?
Yeah.
No, he passed away. My brother did too. Corey, he passed away as well.
And so you were scared of your dad, even though he was a very religious type. But at some point before you went to prison, you guys sort of
we got close. He brought my nephew, so it was me, my father, and his grandson. We were just really in my house in Ohio, and we just really was bonding. And he was just a nice man at the time. So I was asking him about life. And I said, what did you do? And he was talking about Jesus and women and all that stuff. And he talked about he had 4 women in the house while my mother was in the house. And I'm like, whoa, Dad, chill out. I love you because you're my father. I love her because she's my mother. Yes, be my father. I just love you, Dad, you know. I don't want to hear about how I don't want to hear you pimping.
You said you thought he was scared of you at that point?
Yeah, because I saw when he got out of his car, and he was approaching me. I was walking. He seen me get out of the limousine, and I guess I had the whole get up, this, you know, the real great looking clothes and the Versace stuff, getting out the car, open the door, and he was really he had his head down. He was a typical Southern guy, afraid. Hello? I'm looking at him, hey, Dad, how you doing? And he was so surprised that I gave him that kind of greeting.
Right. Because he thought maybe you'd harbor some resentment toward him.
I just never knew how to get in touch with him.
Right.
But that was interesting. But eventually we became friends and started talking. And sometimes I say, was he conning me or something? Because I gave him money, bought him a Cadillac and stuff. I said, was he conning me? Because
he seems like he had that in him.
I said, was he conning me? I'm thinking to my family, I said, this guy conning me.
Is there? I'm trying to think. Like, I feel like this is an epidemic in the black community, especially the dads not there, not raising the kids, and it's the reason the black community is struggling. To me, one of the reasons.
But listen, you have to look at this as well. You have to look at the beginning of how that. So, how did this ever start? How did this whole epidemic ever start? It never started till we came here.
Oh yeah.
It never came because our families were separated. Our families were dehumanized. And so, listen, when we see our wife or the woman that we have children with that are slaves being humanized in front of us, and nothing we can do, well, that's how we think we should treat her too. We shouldn't be around.
Well,
we don't know. That's just thousands of years of broken love and bad stuff, and it's still hanging on. But, you know, people are still trying. We're trying to get it. As a human in general, we're trying to get it.
I have no doubt Whitey is at fault. I won't
say Whitey's at fault.
All right, but I'm saying
Whitey's at fault.
But Whitey ain't going to fix it.
Whitey ain't going to fix it.
That's the problem. I think.
And I can't fix it. You know, this is a collective job. You know, what that lady, Miss Clinton, Hillary Clinton said, it takes a village to raise a child. I thought that was cliche stuff. I said, yeah, right. But as I had children before, but I've never been committed. This is the first time in my life I've ever been committed to a relationship, a woman who I've been dating off and on since she was 19. And this is something I never did. I would never date a woman, or marry a woman that I dated that long.
Right.
You know, and my whole life just started changing. This is something I invested in my life, and just like I invested my time in the fighting, I invested totally into my family and my children now. And that's my goal in life, and that's the success in my life. You know, most people's success is getting $1 billion, getting the hottest chick in the bed, making, and looking good for humanity. People could say, look at him, he's cool. My success is not killing somebody, not going to prison, not getting killed, not giving my wife no infectious disease. That's not really, Adam, that's my success.
That is. I need you to talk to my wife.
That is my success.
And how are you now in terms of, obviously your attitude is great. You seem very comfortable in your skin, and your demeanor's great. But is there any of the old Mike in your belly somewhere?
Tell me about him, like what guy?
What I mean is, you get pulled over, and it's some 23-year-old chick, highway patrol, and she's getting fresh. You know what I mean? She's a little short. She's curt. She's disrespectful. She's telling you to get out of the car. You weren't doing 5 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Well, I'm not going to give her no trouble.
A part of you,
I'm not going to give her any trouble.
Is there any old Tyson that might say something or do something?
Only thing that guy is going to say, ma'am, yes, ma'am, thank you, officer, and ma'am, if there's anything I could ever do for you for, traffic court or anything, please allow me to know. Thank you very much.
That's it. There's no more.
No.
There's that.
Listen, this is what it really is, Adam. You're a comedian. We're all entertainers, right? But this is the real. This is what it is, right? I could live here in this house that you said is cool. with my awesome wife and family, or I could live in a cage with another man.
Right.
So it's either one or the other.
This.
That's it's not nothing in between with me, because I'm not an in between kind of guy. These are all or nothing. So it's either do this or do that.
Right, and you ain't doing that.
No way. At least I hope not. God, please no.
What was it now when you were in the cage with the other guy? They couldn't put you out in the general population, could they?
Yeah.
Or they would.
Yeah,
I thought you'd be like protective.
Yeah, they wanted to try to do that stuff to me. Can you imagine that stuff?
Well, I don't know. What would it be sort of weird being you and being in the general population?
You know, Adam, I grew up in the criminal system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all my life from 10 years old, I've been in the institution. I've been institutionalized and all that stuff. So when I went to prison in '92, and I'm not no bad guy, no tough guy, I was accustomed to that. I know I've been Mike Tyson, been a famous guy, but I wasn't comfortable in that place. But when I'm in there with those guys, I know what to do in there. And, you know, that's been my breeding ground all my life. You know, before I started boxing, I know what to do in prison.
So
I don't know what to do in the real world. I couldn't function out here.
Well, don't you think that's a problem with a lot of people in prison? Like the fact that that's all they know?
Well, that's what happened. Well, that's why I kept going back. You know, when I left prison, I kept going back and went a couple more times. You know, couldn't just do one good time and give it up. No way. You know, not just 3 years. That's all you got in you, Mike. That's all the guts you got. No, I had to go get some more time. So that's how, you know,
I mean, if you took
stupid.
Well, I mean, what I mean is, it's like you hear about these women. Their fathers were alcoholics. They know firsthand all the horrors of being an alcoholic and being with an alcoholic. They saw their moms get beaten up, black eyes, and all that kind of stuff. And then they marry an alcoholic.
I say that to my wife. Can you believe I say the same thing to my wife?
Well, because it's what they know. It's what they know. Like, no matter how horrible prison was or is, it's what you knew.
Yeah.
And in a way, it would call you back the same way that woman who knows firsthand the horrors of being married to an alcoholic magically marries an alcoholic. I mean, it happens every time.
Huh?
It's almost like you're trying to fix something you couldn't fix when you were a kid.
Yeah.
But yet it's this familiarity. Well, it's like this. Look at food. If you come... There's certain places, with Scottish, you like haggis, right? Is that Irish? Scottish, okay. Like haggis. Haggis tastes like but if you grew up around it, it's good. If you're from Hawaii, you eat poi. Poi tastes like If you're in Australia, you eat Vegemite. You ever have Vegemite?
Never in my life.
Tastes like
I wonder what tastes like when you eat
Vegemite. That's what it tastes like. The point is, there's in the black community, like, you know, pig's feet and collard greens.
Those are delicatessens.
Yeah, that's good for you, but for Whitey, it tastes like shit. The point is
I can't eat that stuff either.
But you knew it.
Muslim.
But if you grow up with it and you know it, then it's your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what prison was for you in a weird way.
No, hey, Adam, you're not being facetious or funny with me. This is true. This is who I am. That's who I was. You know, thank God I'm not that way now. But that's what. Listen, the worst neighborhoods in the world. You know, I can go anywhere in the world. Why would I want to go visit my friend that lives in Long Beach or Compton? Why would I want to go visit Matt? Why would I want to spend the weekend with him there?
Right.
Or something. Why would I want to do that when I could go to Central Pay or St. Bart's? But it's just who I am.
Well, the
No, Adam, it's who I am. I can reason and rationalize with people and talk to people, whole conversation. But it's just who I am. I'm sorry.
It's who you are.
I want to be in the hood. I want to hang out with those people and stuff. My wife hates me down there, but that's the only kind of stuff I really know, you know. But people see me in the hood sometimes. They say, man, aren't you afraid somebody's going to rob and kill you down here? I said, wow, I never thought about that. Have you ever thought that, why am I here? Do you ever think that I might be a predator and I'm hanging out down here to do something to somebody? Have you ever thought about that? What am I doing here? I don't understand you too, young man. What am I doing here?
Well,
you know,
you are eating your poi and your Vegemite.
That's what I'm doing.
That's what you grew up on.
Yes,
that's what you know. But I feel like, so if you took your combined prison time, starting as, you know, juvenile detention and all that
probation
stuff.
And all that stuff.
If you combined all that, you'd have a decade of your life in that system, right?
Hey, first time I got off parole, I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been on parole ever since I was 10, 11, but first time I got off was 18.
18, and then you put together 5 years, and then back on to parole?
Yeah, just got off 2 years ago.
So how old are you now?
46. Be 47 in June.
All right, so you're 46 and a half. You basically have 34 and a half years of parole, or maybe 32 years of parole out of your 40.
Judicious system.
6 years.
Yeah, I've been involved with the judicial system. Still am. I've still got to go in there and, do that monthly checkup. But
really?
Yeah.
Normally I'd be pissed off because of how much money you cost me, but you've paid so much in taxes over your career that I'm going to give you a pass.
No, you have to look at it from this perspective. When I was really at my peak, I was under the Bush and the Reagan administration. So I didn't pay much taxes. That's probably why I forgot to pay them when Clinton was around, huh?
Well, wait a minute.
That's why I forgot to pay when Clinton was around, because I got caught up with Bush and Reagan, right? I forgot to pay this.
Even if you were paying, if you got $20 million for a fight, even if you're paying 10%, you're still putting $2 million into the system. That's more than the other guys from your neighborhood are putting back into the system, more than your dad put into the system.
I don't look at myself. I don't see myself in those eyes that I'm bigger than my friends in the community. We're just all people, and I'm just fortunate.
Are any of those guys around?
Few of them, very few.
Dead, prison.
Yeah, drugs. Drugs really did a number. The AIDS epidemic did a number on my friends. And then the drugs, crack and stuff did a number on them. They're selling. And then it comes to a time, guys who used to be in summer school together, hang out together, go to school together. Next thing you know, you see one of them, and he just killed a friend, but you don't know. You just know a friend died, but you don't know he killed him.
Oh, so you're talking to a guy. You know a friend got shot,
we all
but you don't know you're hanging
friend.
around with the guy who shot him.
Did him or had him shot. This is just the world we live in. I'm sad. I'm with him sad. I'm with him sad, but he's the one that did it.
Was it? I always sort of had this theory that the more you have to lose, sort of the more responsible you get, in the sense that you have a family. You don't want to be in prison now because you feel like you'd be losing something. I had a family
before I went to prison. I had a family fiance, and even when I got locked and went to prison again, I was married with a family. It's just that I didn't get it yet. It's not. Listen, it's just like drugs. When you don't got it yet, don't care how much people you love, you just gotta get it. Because it's not enough. Love is not enough to stop a drug addict.
But when you were back in the day, when you're just in the streets and you're fighting and you're beating up people and you're taking money, watches, whatever, away from other people, there's a good chance that you could get f***ed up too, right?
I got f***ed up.
You got f***ed up.
Yeah.
Right, but
because these guys come back.
You didn't have that much to lose.
It's not like you just take these guys' watches or you take their stuff and it's a wrap, it's over. They come back. Not that day, but maybe the next day, the next
Give us
later.
One good comeback story.
Man, one day, we had robbed a store, and it wasn't a store, it was a marijuana spot in the building. We robbed these guys.
They're selling drugs, and you knew they wouldn't go to the cops.
No, we ain't worried about them. We really didn't know them.
Right.
Some Caribbean guys, Jamaican, and one day I'm in Flatbush and they see me.
So guys, is it like a house?
It's just a building, like a building.
How do you rob it?
You knock on the door, you put the money in, they grab the money, you kick the door in, and you go get the guys, and this is what you do. And
were you stealing drugs and money?
Drugs, money, kicking that. So they see me one day in Flatbush and they beat the out of me.
You're just walking through.
I'm
Flatbush?
shopping.
You're shopping in Flatbush.
Yeah.
Spending their money.
No, it wasn't their money. Probably somebody else's money.
Someone else's
money.
But
they saw me with a guy. One of the guys saw me with some other guys.
How old are you at this point?
I'm 11.
11?
Yeah, they saw me.
Uh-huh.
They saw me.
And they beat the out of you.
Yeah, I ran, but man, I'm so happy I got away. Oh man, somebody, it wasn't a cop, but some other guys saw them beating the shit. I mean, they say, "Stop, leave that little guy alone." You know, some older guy, leave him alone, leave that little brother alone.
Right.
And they were explaining to the guy, "This guy robbed me," and when they turned around, I just took off.
Right.
Yeah.
But that didn't stop you from doing it.
No, absolutely. That was my lifestyle. That's all I was born to do back then. That's all everybody did. You know, you get beat up, you got your ass kicked, you got stabbed or something, but you had to come back.
Did your mom was out of it, alcoholic? I mean, did your mom ever say, "Hey, what the what's going on?"
My mom had no control. You know, if you have a young guy like me at home, the streets are running you. You don't have no men to control me or subdue me. The streets are going to be my big brother, my father, and that's really what happened.
And when was the first time you got officially busted? Like, when was the first time the law got involved?
77.
What happened?
I didn't do anything, of course, right? But I went on 42nd Street, and it's New Year's, and I saw one of my friends, because I used to live in another section of Brooklyn, but I saw one of my friends that I grew up with, and so I'm going over there to say, "What's up?" and say hi to him, because I haven't seen him. And as I go over, I see he grabs this prostitute lady, he grabs the purse.
Right.
And they took up, I'm just going to say, "What's up?" But as soon as I come over, he snatches the purse. And the lady takes the hot coffee and throws it in my face. I'm just right there to slap the guy 5. He didn't give me no warning he was going to take this lady's purse or anything. And I ran in the movie theater. And next thing you know, I snuck in. I ran in. The hot thing was all on my face. And the lady just came in the movie theater with the cops and started pointing people out. And she pointed me out.
Right.
And I got arrested. And not only did I get arrested, the window was down low. I was handcuffed. And the lady walked by, and it was the prostitute. She walked by and put her hand in the car where I was and just raked my face. Yeah.
Just raked it with her nails.
Yeah.
Crazy black woman nails?
Yeah, crazy as hell. Yeah.
And she raked your face while you were sitting
in the police car. I'm in the cop car.
What is, so
they sent me to Buffett that night.
And is there any solution to this problem in the inner city where the streets are raising everybody and everyone's just running wild, committing crimes and whatnot?
People just have to man up and not get caught up with their pride and say, "Hey, I'm not helping the family. I can't get a job." I don't know. You tell me. You tell me what we do.
Well,
Adam.
Here's the thing.
This is bigger than just two people like me and you say, "This is what we do." People have to want to do this. This has to want to be in people's hearts. You have to look at it like this. So the black family, the fathers don't hang around. They don't stick around, right? So that's a dilemma in the black community, right?
I think it's the black community up.
Well, the black community has been up way before the parents left there. Why don't you think it's been really before fathers started leaving their families? There's a reason why fathers left their family, because it was up.
No, I no doubt it was up.
Let's listen some more, because we're talking more about black people that's not taking care of their kids. You know, they came to this place. Even when they migrated from the South, they come to the shittiest jobs. They get the shittiest apartments. And then when they do come there and they meet some successful black people that may be dope dealers, else being lackeys for some rich white people, they shit on them. Right. You know, so when you look at that situation, what are you going to do? You can't take care of your family. You can't do nothing. And now you're being oppressed by a despot in your neighborhood, because that's what it is in the black community now. Let's look at that. So you're being oppressed by a despot. Do the police care if this guy's depressing you and extorting you or harassing your family, your wife or whatever? Do they care? No. Because do they look at you as a person? No, we don't look at you as a person, because our sergeant and the police station say you lock as many of them up as possible. They're not human beings. They're animals. You know, so now we're being dehumanized. So now we have to become humans first in order for us to look at ourselves as humans. Your guys took 500 years. I'm talking about white, negative, bad people. Because, of course, if there wasn't no good white people, we would still be in slavery. So we got to really thank God that we all don't think the same, right? So you have to look at that. So, and also,
you got to know, too, just for the record, I'll tell you, my family's from Italy. Came here poor off the boat. They didn't.
we're not talking about Italian people. We're talking about black people.
No, but what I'm saying is no one owned any slaves. They didn't even own
let me tell you some more about Italian people. Italian people started the slave trade in the ancient time before Christ. They're the ones that established that. Yeah, the Roman army. They established racism. We're the superior. They're superior. Imperial. Come on, dude.
They established racism?
Yeah.
Well, I'm only half Italian. That was a high five for those at home.
Woo.
All right, I really love the new Mike Tyson, and I'm assuming the new Mike Tyson is enjoying being the new Mike Tyson and not having to be the old Mike Tyson.
Well, the new Mike Tyson is just happy to be alive,
and also
and grateful for that.
Is there part of you? I mean, as a boxing geek, as a guy who you don't hear boxing geek that often, but as a guy who studies it, who loves it, who's involved with it, and was champion, you take a look at a guy like George Foreman. Is there a part of you that thinks maybe this is the trajectory I'm on, in the sense that he grew up, I think, in Houston. He was a kid in the streets. He was in and out of juvenile detention centers. He was getting into street fights. I mean, George Foreman was a real bad street brawl and f***ed up. I mean, he was sort of the Texas Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? In terms of how he grew up. And at some point, he then became a bad and a heavyweight champion of the world. And people feared him. I mean, he wasn't Muhammad Ali. He was the dude who never smiled, and people thought he was going to kill him in the ring. And then he was reborn. At a certain point, his lovable, jovial, smiling George Foreman, the one we know now. Is there a part of you that says, "Hey, this is kind of where I'm going"?
I don't think so. I'm not that kind of person.
That was perfect analogy, Mike. Why don't you think so? That was perfect, man.
No, that's not who I am. It's not who I am, and that's my battle. That's one of my battles, and being honest to who I really am, and not, and I understand. I really have a problem with that, being a trained monkey, and I'm not saying Mr. Foreman is. But
what do you think? I mean, he's scary
awesome.
and angry,
he's an awesome
and whatever.
Guy. And I don't know if he was scary and angry.
No, I'm telling you, I know enough to know that he grew up on the streets, and he grew up fighting, and he grew up robbing people and doing that whole thing.
Different eras than our eras. It's just totally different than us. I'm not saying I'm tougher than him.
Do you think his act is bullshit now?
No. That's who he is now. He always was that tough guy, but that's just who I could never be. I'm never that guy.
Which guy?
I'm the always happy guy, and hey, guy, and I want to whop. I'm just not that guy.
Maybe he's just putting that on, though.
Nah, he's happy. That's who he is, and that's who he wants to be, but that's not who I could never be.
Is there somebody from that era who you would watch and go, I'm glad I didn't have to fight that guy? Or conversely, I would have walked through that guy?
No, I don't look at those guys in that perspective. I admire most of the guys, especially the guys that came before me. They're all my heroes. They inspired me to be who I was, because I didn't know anything about boxing. So once I established I was going to be a fighter, I looked at the boxing encyclopedia, and I said, I studied all the greatest fighters. I studied their mannerism, how they walked, how they talk, how they hold a cup. And when they started smoking, how they hold cigarettes, how they talk to them. I know everything about them.
Who in your mind are the top three? Any weight division, any era? If you're a real serious diehard fight fan, you can never do that. How could you do that? Everybody has something that's spectacular that you can never forget. Well, you take a guy like Sugar Ray Robinson. The way that guy moved, I mean, the angles he showed, and the way he fought, almost like a modern fighter back in the 40s and the 50s. In his non-modern day, he fought like a modern guy. To me, he's pretty amazing. Sugar Ray Leonard, a guy who was so slick so polished and so smooth, but he had the heart of a lion that people really didn't know about him. You know, how incredibly tough he was, as well as exquisitely coordinated, you know. To me, those are a couple guys that would definitely make my top. I put you on there too.
Well, I don't know. I just when fighters look at stuff and if they're honest with themselves, we all want to be the best. From an ego perspective, our ego, we want to be the best. But when you look at a fighter from who they really are and look at you for who you really are, you look at the real, and you say to yourself, I can't beat that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fighters know you can't beat that man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every time some fighters like a guy like me,
even
though I couldn't beat him, I would never say I can't.
Right.
You know.
Did Holyfield intimidate you?
No. No one ever intimidated me.
He was a guy who I just thought was an incredible overachiever. Like, that guy had a will. And
incredible.
And because people forget, unlike you know, he was a light heavyweight who had built himself up to a heavyweight. And I don't know if it's because he was such a Jesus freak or what, but he never seemed to be scared of anybody. I was like, why isn't he scared of Mike Tyson?
Well, listen, if you're not scared, listen, I don't believe it. If a fighter's not afraid, he's a liar or he's insane.
So he'd say he was scared.
I don't know. If he said he's not afraid, if a fighter say he's not afraid when he's fighting, he's a liar.
Right. But he just went at it, man.
He's a great fighter.
I mean, him and Riddick Bowe.
I went to school with Riddick Bowe.
You went to school with?
Yes.
I didn't know you went to school.
Well, when I did go.
You went to school with Riddick Bowe?
Yeah.
There should be definitely a plaque at that junior high. Or high school.
Public school, I think. I think it was public school.
High school?
Yeah, public school.
It says Mike Tyson and Big Daddy.
Not PS3 something.
Really? Riddick Bowe was a hell of a fighter for about 10 minutes, too, before he kind of...
Sweet person, a really awesome person.
All I know is him and Holyfield was pretty damn... I mean, in a weird way, Holyfield had his... It was almost Tyson... Tyson. You're Tyson. It was almost Muhammad Ali-esque in that he had... Holyfield had his Riddick Bowe, and he had his Mike Tyson, and Ali had his Foreman and his Joe Frazier.
Ali had his Ken Norton, too.
Did you have... Oh, and he had his Ken Norton, too, yeah. Ken looked pretty good with his shirt off. Did you... for you had, you know, Holyfield was your guy. I mean, in terms of now...
Nemesis, right?
Well, when you talk about Pacquiao fighting Marquez or whoever, you know, for the trilogy or coming back again, before we wrap it up, is there anybody who you really like right now who excites you, who you want to watch, who you want to see fight?
Yeah, I like Andrew Barner. The kind of Andrew Barner.
Yes,
Barner, I believe it is.
Yeah,
from Ohio.
Yeah,
very excited, sophisticated fighter. And then there's another guy.
Yeah, is he light?
A lightweight, 135 pounds.
Right,
I believe.
black guy,
really
good,
real, slick talker, street guy. But and then there's another guy.
Wait a minute, is he the guy who gets his hair picked out?
No, I think he combs it.
No, I think so. Okay, but he's the guy who comes in and literally, kind of like back in the day when, you know, Macho Camacho would fight, or guys that came in with their... I mean, he'd have his swagger. After the fight, he has a guy take care of his afro.
Well, he doesn't have afro. I guess he's brushing it.
He's brushed it.
He gets brushed out after
the fight. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, and there's another guy from the Philippines, Nanito De Niro.
Yes.
Oh, he's beautiful too.
Lightweight.
Yeah, Danito.
Yeah, fights 4 times a year.
Danito. And then there's another guy, the Cuban guys, of course, are great as well. You know, Gamboa.
Yep.
He's great. But then Ragandon.
Mm-hmm.
Another Cuban guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's incredible.
And the
he's incredible.
Heavyweight division just seems tired and a little boring. And
you know why, Adam? And I know people are going to think I'm a savage and a barbarian. They don't want to hurt each other. This is the only time fighting is exciting. And this is fighting, right? This is fighting. In order for fighting to be exciting, you have to want to hurt each other.
It is incredible when you forget, because in everything else in life, we progress. If you go back and look at basketball from 20, 30, 40 years ago, it's not as exciting. There's no LeBron James crazy dunks and stuff. You know, there were some guys out there that were pretty good, but not like what they have now. And when you go back and you look at football, there were some pretty good players in the 70s, but there weren't the animals, the monsters, the guys that are running the 4.340s and, you know, this incredible
animals, aren't they?
The
speed, animals.
Yes, the speed of the game, the size of the guys is incredible. So you think of professional sports and where it was in the 70s with regular dudes, just sort of regular dudes. You know, guys playing linebacker that were 215 pounds, but not incredible like some of the monsters you see on the field today.
You're playing in a different era.
It's a different era.
Enhancement drugs and everything.
Right, but when you go to the heavyweight division, it's the opposite. Because when you watch some of those fights from your fights, even your era, before your era, heavyweights trading toe-to-toe. I mean, you go back and watch Holyfield fight Riddick Bowe. Those guys went at it for 12 rounds, trading like lightweights, non-stop. And then they went and did it again 6 months later. You watch the Klitschko's fight now. It's a bunch of guys trying not to get hurt in there, trying to get away with a victory. Nothing against the Klitschko's, but these guys are talking, some English guys, I'm going to make him sorry he ever came over, and then they just go over there and cover up the whole fight. Every other sport, X Games, basketball, everything has gone more. Heavyweights have gone less.
Because the desire to be that person is not there anymore. Yeah, you know, when I came on the scene, I have to say myself, because I know my whole objective was that people remember me and talk about me like they did my heroes. That was my whole objective. The way I talked about these guys, I talked about them every day, all day. And I wanted people to think about me the way I thought about my heroes. Right. Who were into boxing. So that's why I wanted to be successful. I always thought of myself, I'm a destroyer. I'm going to hurt him. He's going to die. Because that's what fighting. That's what you're going to do if you're fighting. You want to hurt somebody. You want to kill somebody. Even if you're doing it relaxed or confident, this is what you want to do. You're not necessarily that person, but at that moment you are.
Last question for you, Mike. How often do you sit back and watch some footage of you in a fight where you did particularly well or not? Just back looking at yourself, popping in a DVD.
Never. I watch Duran a lot. I got Frazier Ali 3 and 1 in there, and I got Foreman. Those are the fights I watch.
You watch the other guys.
Yeah.
You don't watch yourself.
Because when they talk about the other guy, and even if it's true or false, and they say, oh, I'm fighting this and that, and he's feeling this way, he's feeling that way, it's exciting. When they're talking about me and I know myself, and I hear false, it's not true, I'm not really that good, I'm not in this and I'm not that, and I can't be objective like when I'm watching them. When I watch myself, I see this guy's lying, I see all my flaws and my mistakes, and I don't like it.
You're picking on your form, you're picking on yourself.
Yeah.
To me, one of the greatest knockouts, Tommy Hearns knocking out Roberto Duran. The crazy leverage on that cross. Boom.
One punch. But Tommy Hearns knocked me out if he hit me like that. Tommy Hearns is one of the hardest punches ever lived.
Tommy, that's the thing that made Sugar Ray Leonard amazing to me, because Tommy Hearns, with the leverage he got on those punches.
He still wants to fight Sugar Ray.
I know. Every time I see them sitting around doing
Ray's
one of those
scared.
ESPN.
Ray don't know if this guy's going to sucker punch him or not. He said, Ray, we should do it one more time, Ray. And Ray said, God damn, Tommy, will you stop it, Tommy? Tommy, will you please stop it, Tommy? We're 100 years old, Tommy. Just stop it, Tommy.
Tom, I get the feeling like every time they get together.
I'm thinking Tommy goes, what you mean stop it, Ray? I'll kick your now.
I'm sure he would. He fucking scares me. All right, the great Mike Tyson. Mike.
Oh, great. Thanks a lot.
Oh, well, what else we call you? Iron Mike, but hell, Ditka had that one first.
Iron Dickus.
Ditka was Iron Mike before you were Iron.
Listen, and I'm being sued for Iron Mike.
You are?
All the time, guys are suing me for Iron Mike.
Jesus. Well, we're going to be doing some podcasting.
Iron Mike. I'm sorry, Adam. I keep dropping.
That's all right.
I'm not a Mike dude.
No. So now you're going to have to go into training doing a podcast, because we're going to have you do a regular thing on our network.
I would love to do that. You know what I would love to do? I would like to. One day I was on the station in New York, and I guess it was Shock Jocks.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys came, hey, you want a station? And I would love to be a shock jock, but I'd probably get in trouble with my endorsement. They probably wouldn't let me endorse anything.
The good thing about doing a podcast is you can
like what Howard Stern is doing. That stuff is so awesome. You could talk about people, and when they talk about you, and you could just rip back at them.
That's what we're gonna do.
Oh God, no! Don't give me a shock jock role. Give me a shock jock role.
All right. So thank you for inviting us into your spacious cell you're living in with the high ceilings.
Hey, man, no doubt, man. No doubt. I just hope the pool guy fixed the pool, because it's really an eyesore. I just love it. It's going to
get warm, and pool guy, he's out there.
Is he out there?
There's somebody out there working
long hair dude?
Long-haired dude.
Kind of buffed?
Kind of buff long-haired dude.
Yeah, that's Jerry.
Yeah. So, until
just
next
fix
time.
The pool.
Just fix the pool. This is Adam Carolla for Mike Tyson saying mahalo.
Mahalo! Is that some stuff in Hawaii? Mahalo! Hang 10, bro.
So I get to sign off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at PodCenter at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.